She humiliated her sister for years. She stole her fiancé. She thought she'd won. But the man she mocked? He was a billionaire in disguise. And tonight everyone would know the truth. Silvia's voice trembled as the words left her mouth, slicing through the room and freezing every breath inside it. Her hands shook at her sides, her chest tight with disbelief and pain. Edna laughed. Slow, deliberate, cruel. Relax, sister, she said lazily, her lips curling into a smile. I only took what finally became valuable. That was the moment Silvia's heart shattered. And the moment fate quietly began to shift. Edna's mother died on the very day she was born. The house had not yet shed its mourning clothes when another woman went into labor across town. The personal assistant of Edna's father, carrying his child. Grief weakened judgment. Scandal was buried before it could breathe. Within months, Edna's father married his PA, and two girls grew up under the same roof, bound by blood, but never by love. Edna was adored, excused, celebrated. Silvia was merely tolerated. From childhood, the difference was unmistakable. Edna woke late, demanded new clothes, and spent her days dreaming of luxury and fashion shows. Silvia woke before sunrise. She cleaned, cooked, washed clothes, and still found time to study. When Silvia succeeded, it was dismissed as luck. When Edna failed, it was blamed on circumstances. You should be grateful we kept you, her stepmother often reminded her. Know your place. Silvia learned silence before she learned pride. In high school, she met Daniel. He was ambitious and charming, insecure beneath his confidence, desperate for success. Silvia believed in him when no one else did. She helped him study, encouraged his dreams, and loved him without reservation. Edna barely noticed Daniel at first. She only dated men with money. Wealth, she believed, was her destiny. But Daniel noticed Edna. He always had. He knew he could never afford her world, so he settled for Silvia. And Silvia, unaware of the truth, gave him everything she had. After school, Daniel landed a job in a fast-growing tech company. Silvia celebrated his success like it was her own. Later, she joined the same company as an intern. Daniel rose quickly into management. Silvia faded into the background. At work, Daniel pretended not to know her. Intern, bring the files, he would say coldly, his eyes never meeting hers. Silvia swallowed the humiliation. She corrected his mistakes, prepared his presentations, handled negotiations, behind the scenes. One night, exhausted and anxious, she warned him quietly. The figures don't balance. The project will fail. Are you questioning me? Daniel snapped. She fixed it anyway. The project, worth 1 million naira, succeeded beyond expectations. Daniel received praise, promotion, and applause. Silvia's name was never mentioned. Soon, Daniel became Chief Operations Officer, and later, head of the board. Power transformed him completely. That was when Edna noticed him. The moment she heard of Daniel's promotion, she began visiting the office uninvited. Overdressed, confident, and cruel. She walked through the halls as if she owned them. So this is where servants pretend to matter, she said one day, her eyes landing deliberately on Silvia. Daniel laughed. Edna leaned close to him, whispering, mocking, flaunting their intimacy without shame. She worked so hard, Edna once said with a smirk, yet remains nothing. Everyone knew about their affair. No one spoke. A single complaint from Daniel to the board or CEO meant instant dismissal. Fear sealed every mouth. Silvia discovered the truth by accident. A message, a photo, Edna's reflection, in Daniel's office mirror. When she confronted them, Edna didn't bother denying it. "I upgraded," she said casually. "You polished him, for me." Daniel said nothing. Silvia walked out of the office that day trembling, broken in ways she didn't yet have words for. Around that time, a new intern joined the company. Quiet. Simply dressed. Overlooked. His name was Frederick. Edna humiliated him openly. "Are you still pretending to work here?" she scoffed one afternoon. "Interns like you are just obstacles." Once, she spilled coffee near his shoes and snapped, "Clean it." "Isn't that what people like you do?" Daniel treated him even worse. "Run these files to the third floor," Daniel barked, tossing documents at him. "And don't be slow." When Frederick calmly replied that it wasn't his department, Daniel leaned closer and hissed, "You are whatever I say you are, here." Frederick said nothing. He observed. He listened. He remembered. Silvia was the only one who showed him kindness. She helped him navigate systems, shared her meals, spoke gently. She never knew he was the owner of the company. The billionaire heir who had stayed away for years, building his own empire, returning disguised, to see how his company truly treated people. The gala night arrived, buzzing with anticipation. It was the night the mysterious CEO and owner would finally be revealed. Silvia tried calling Frederick. Once. Twice. Again. No answer. Her heart sank. She assumed he had gone, without her. She dressed in the only simple gown she owned, and attended alone. Inside the lavish hall, she searched for him. He was nowhere. Then she heard laughter. Edna and Daniel stood at the center of the room, glowing in designer attire. Edna noticed Silvia immediately. "You actually came dressed like that?" Edna laughed loudly. "You look like trash." Daniel added coldly, "Absolute trash." Edna circled Silvia slowly. "This is a billionaire's gala, not a charity event." "Did you sneak in?" People laughed nervously. Others looked away. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. "Ladies and gentlemen," the announcer said, "please welcome the Chief Executive Officer and owner of the company." The doors opened. Frederick walked in. The room erupted in shock. Before reaching the stage, his assistant stepped forward and handed Daniel a thick file. Daniel opened it, scanned the pages, and froze. His hands shook. His face drained of all color. Fraud. Forged approvals. Stolen credit. Illegal transfers. Daniel knew instantly. He would be sacked. Arrested. Edna snatched the file, skimmed it, and staggered back. "No, this can't be real." Frederick took the microphone. "I stayed away for years," he said calmly. "Before stepping in, I wanted to see how this company treated people when it believed no one important was watching." Edna screamed, "You? You're the owner?" "Yes," Frederick replied evenly. "You're lying," she shouted. "You're the poor man always getting in my way." Frederick stepped down and walked toward Silvia. "You couldn't reach me tonight," he said softly. "Because I wanted this moment to be a surprise." He knelt. "You were kind when you thought I was nothing," he said. "Will you marry me?" Edna screamed in disbelief. No. You can't do this. You can't marry her. Security moved toward Daniel. Silvia's tears fell freely now. Not from pain, but release. Yes, she whispered. Applause thundered through the hall. Edna collapsed, shaking, whispering over and over, "It's not possible." And in that moment, everyone understood the truth Silvia had lived all her life. All that glitters is not gold. And kindness, ignored by the world, is often remembered by destiny. The end.